Shalom. Oh wow, that's good. That's real good. Only thing about it is I ain't got no friends list or nothing, but other than that, let's see. Nope. Other than that, that's pretty good. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. I'm learning how to use the iPad one of the brothers sent me, Brother Marcus Allen. Grateful for that. So I'm learning how to use it. Got the Facebook on there. Okay, oh, there go people right there. I see them coming on, and I have to tap to invite. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. Man, this is crystal clear. This is almost like being on TV. We made a video earlier dealing with some of our brothers and sisters that have reached great heights on how easy it is to become distracted, and you forget all of the reasons why you wanted to be great. But now let's look at something, because not long after I done that video, I seen something on TV. Well, not on TV, but on Facebook. That our brother LeBron James has opened up a school, and I won't be critical about that. And I'm gonna be kind of joyful, in a sense, for a couple of reasons. For one reason is that some of the brothers and sisters, their children, they're gonna probably be exposed to a little bit better opportunities getting to go to that brother's school, providing he stay connected to everything that's going on. Many times our people do things like that, and then they just put their thing in the hands of other people and eventually misuse it. I remember when Derek Thomas, one of the greatest football players Kansas City had ever seen, he opened up a school, and where's the school at now? You see? Now, as long as he was living, he probably was able to stay connected to it, stay, involved to make sure that what he was dreaming about, it became that. But if you just throw stuff in the hands of other people, so you want to be hopeful and optimistic, but at the same time, you have to be realistic, because this is not the first time that happened. And so you have to analyze and look at, why is it that the things that we open as a people don't have no longevity to them? See, a European gonna open up a business next week, and that business gonna probably be here for the next 3 or 4 generations or beyond, and it'll get handed down and handed down and handed down. But it's like, once we do something immediately, once the person die or put it in the hands of somebody else, it eventually falls apart. Those are some of the things that we got to look at. So when we look at that scripture, blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, standing where sinners are sitting in the seat of the scornful. His delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. That man shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, and he's going to bring forth fruit in his season, and his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he do shall prosper. Why is it that what we do as a people don't prosper? Surely, if what we do as a people don't prosper, then it got to be connected to this scripture of blessedness. All right? Now, some things we pop open and bam, they prosperous and they work for a while, but eventually the leaf withers. This particular individual in the scripture, it said his leaf will not wither. When your leaf don't wither, that means that whatever it is that you prospered in, it continues to manifest itself one generation to the next, till your great grandchildren are still operating on it, because it has not withered and it continues to prosper. As long as those that are operating in it are operating by these principles. Ever notice how some people was able to build good things and they was very productive while they lived and everything, all the way, carried them all the way, took care of their kids, sent their kids to college, it bought them everything that their hearts desired. But when that individual that done them things died, everything that he left fell apart. See, this is how we got to look at the scripture. Because whoever got it, whoever it was passed down to, did walk in the same principles. And so, so only thing I was saying with the LeBron James school, this is not the first attempt, you know. And then just look at how our brothers are. There's another brother I seen come over there, and he wants to tell you about all of the other people that opened up a school before LeBron. That's a brother coming to extract away from a glorious moment of accomplishment. Well, LeBron ain't the only one that did it. It was other people that came before him. Well, we know that. But this is the nature of our people. We have jealousy. We have an evil eye toward each other. You understand what I'm saying? So it all keep connecting to this one scripture. Blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly. What is ungodly counsel? Anything outside of scripture is ungodly counsel. Now, this particular man, he has a delight in God's law. It's understanding God's law and God's wisdom that shows us how to be prosperous, how to make a thing work. Because when you ask the right questions and you get the right answers, then you automatically got prosperity. But when you got questions that need answers, but you don't have godly counsel, then you don't have the Father's wisdom. Now you're forced to get the counsel from somebody else that's ungodly counsel. Henceforth, many of our brothers make a lot of money and then die broke because of that ungodly counsel. They didn't seek the people that could give them godly counsel. You know, the old folks used to say that we didn't have the money to go and lay on nobody's couch and get counsel. When we want to counsel, we get up and go to church, or we open up the Bible, or we find out that's where our counsel came from. That is the best counsel that anybody can get. So I'm just looking at these things in light of the life that we live in. Let's hypothetically say, okay, our brother have opened up a school and he's giving back to the community, and that is a good thing. Well, why is it that when a brother get ready to give back to the community that he comes from, he have to incorporate other people in there? You see? When 9 out of 10 times, when you start dealing with the slums and the ghetto and the neighborhood, the other people are not partakers of that poverty. So why should they be partakers of somebody's success when they get ready to come back and give something? Why do I have to bring your children in here? Huh? Because you wasn't trying to bring my children into where you was at. And even when my children did go where you was at, they were still at a disadvantage and got mistreated in the worst kind of way. How do you think that our brothers are supposed to put things together and then bring your children over here, and then your children get the same treatment as our children, when our children didn't get no treatment where yours was concerned? You see, brothers, when you're walking in godly counsel, you can see these type of things with clarity. And these things will cause you to make a stand. They'll cause you to choose between the Most High and his enemies, or your enemies. They'll make you make a choice, because you can't have it both ways. You're going to have to make a choice. For my high-powered, high-figured brother, you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to choose the Most High, or you're going to have to choose the systems of this world and his enemies. You see, in order to hang on to what they have, you know what, you're going to have to want that awful bad. Because there ain't going to be no in-between ground. There's not going to be no in-between ground. It's going to be what it is. So let's hypothetically say, now, our brother does the school. Now he going to have European kids mixed right in there with the Hebrew kids. Now, let's see. What do we think that the curriculum is going to be? Will the curriculum be like any other public school? Will they have to teach according to the state guidelines, or is it going to be a private organization to where you'll have the freedom now to teach what you want? Because there's a group of people that you're trying to give back to the community, but they have lost out on everything because they were taught by people that taught them lies. They taught them nothing about themselves. So, brother, if our brother going to open up a school, wouldn't you want to open up a school that teaches something other than slavery started in the 1600s, with the people that just poofed out of thin air? Will you want to teach a curriculum to teach your young brothers and sisters where they came from, what their history was, what their identity was, what their nationality was? where their homeland was. Wouldn't you want a school set up? When you set things up, if they're not according to the knowledge of the Most High, and they're not according to the counsel of the Most High, then it's only going to further the indoctrination. So we have to make messages like this so that our people can be able to draw lines of distinction between whose bandwagon they're going to jump on and whose they are not. Because it don't make no difference. It's time out. Why for our brothers to keep opening up things and doing things that don't work? We say it's for the sake of the community, and we say it's for the betterment of our people. But when we lack the understanding of what it is that our people need to become a better people, or a people that's better equipped or better off, you must know and understand the counsel of the Most High. You must understand godly wisdom. If you're going to give the Father's people something that becomes a benefit to them. Now, this is just what it is. So, you know, the messages ain't personal, but they are going to be something to think about. We need some brothers to open up some schools. We need some brothers to open up some schools that got some Bibles in there. Because that is the only place for the Negro to find the history that the Europeans took from him. And when our brothers that's having the capacity to be able to do these things don't understand these things themselves, it just becomes a waste of money. And the people are no better off. Why open, if you're going to open up a school, are they still going to learn about George Washington and the Revolutionary War and the war between the North and the South? Or they still going to be learning about those things, Pearl Harbor and all that? They're going to learn about the things that have never meant anything to us as a people. We got to understand these things, because many of our brothers and sisters, you'll get so gullible and just happy-go-lucky that one of our brothers is doing something that you don't even take the time to stop and think if what's being done is according to the wisdom of the Most High, or if it's being guided by godly counsel. You don't even take the time. That's the thing that kills me about our people. It don't make no difference to you whether a person is righteous or wicked. All they got to do is be black, and there you go. You on their bandwagon. God gonna hold every single one of us accountable for these type of things. Some people gonna want to go and put their kids in school, whole long waiting list, simply because it's LeBron James. When the Bible tells us to have not the faith of Hamashiach or Jesus the Christ. Have not the faith of Jesus the Christ or Yahushua HaMashiach with the respective persons. I don't care who you are, what kind of accolades you got, how much you can accomplish. If what you moving is not according to the knowledge of the Most High and is not being led by godly counsel, I don't want no part of it. So, you know, these are things I ask myself the question. Why would I put my children, why would I keep sending my children someplace to where their understanding is going to further deteriorate? No. We can't do it. But as I said before, I commended the brother, because some things we can have good hearts and we can be genuine. That's beautiful. That is beautiful when you have a good heart and when you're genuine. But see, this got nothing to do with your heart. Because the Father said the heart is deceitful above everything else and desperately wicked. Your heart, you can mean well in your heart, but your heart can be deceiving you, because your heart is moved by the way that you feel. And if you feel one way and you go and do something, I'm so feeling about it, I'm so feeling about it, and then I'll go do it. And then 10 years from now, it produced results that was just downright terrible. You feel bad about that. You feel as bad about it as you felt good about it when you done it. But you feel bad about it because you realize your heart deceived you. I felt so good about that. You know what I'm saying? I felt so good. That's what I'm telling brothers and sisters, even about marriage and stuff like that. You feel so good about it. You feel so good about it. But you let your heart deceive you, because your heart is controlled by the way you feel. And see, the Father is not a sensual being. He's not controlled by the way you feel. And you can't be controlled by the way that you feel need. You got to run there and snatch your feelings out of it and look at things for what they are, with an unbiased opinion. And that's how I'm going to try to keep my opinion. Unbiased. I'm not for the right, I'm not for the left. I'm standing in the middle and I'm looking at it from both sides. Yes, there's a good thing to have good motive. Yes, there's a good thing to have a desire to want to give back. Yes, but just because you got those desires don't mean that what you do is going to make it better. What you do could make a situation worse. That's why the blessing is to the one that walks, not in the counsel of ungodly people. That means that when you get ready to make a decision, all of the people around you should be understanders of Scripture. Everybody around you should understand the Scripture. So you need a second opinion, you need a third opinion. Okay, that's Scripture. Let every thought be established in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. So you got 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people around you that understand the Scripture. You can go ask any one of them. And if it's a good decision, 3 of them are going to say, yeah, it's a good decision. And then you can go and ask 3 more, and then 3 more gonna say, yeah, it's a good decision. You can ask 1 more, and he's gonna say, yeah, it's a good decision. And then you can still find a brother to go against all of that. Because that's the Scripture too. A fool is wiser in his own eyes than 7 wise men that can render righteous counsel. But see, godly counsel is the principal thing. It's the most important thing. So when we go out and we do these things without the proper counsel, it doesn't matter how good we feel about it or how good our intentions was. You see? So, you know, I ain't knocking our brothers about nothing, but our brothers have done some horrible things. They've done some horrible things. They've done some horrible things, you know what I mean? And we all come from the same place. Every person of Negroid descent came out of the field, came off a boat butt naked, with nothing. Every Negro. Contrary to what then you got Negroes out here that don't even want to identify with who they are. Them are the ones that we pray that the Most High just gone and remove. Let them fall on off the face of the earth so that they can quit being stagnating the whole nation. All of us come from the same place. And a lot of our brothers and sisters, they find a way to make it into a place to where, and then we're not saying that nobody owes, because you don't owe nobody nothing. Here's the whole thing. This is where our brothers and sisters cross off. Because see, we ain't never been used to having nothing. And then when we do get stuff, we say things that don't make sense. Oh, well, I don't owe this. I don't owe them nothing. I don't owe them nothing. I earned this and I work hard. I went to school. I went to college. This is what I got. No, you're a fool. You're a fool. That's what you are, because you ain't done nothing. This earth don't belong to you. This earth don't belong to nobody. The earth is the Lord's. The fullness thereof, the people in it, and everything else in it belongs to the Most High. Anything you have was a gift to you. The Bible says, freely as you've been given, freely as you have received, you should freely give. Does that mean you got to go and give all your stuff away? No. It just means that you need to change your mindset. Because when you understand that everything you have belongs to the Father, and He entrusted it to your care, now whether or not you're going to be a wise man or a fool with what been entrusted to your care while you live these few days on this little dim earth, that's on you. But I'll tell you one thing, you'll know that what nothing here, yours. You'll know that you didn't accomplish not one thing. When it's time for you to take your final breath, you'll suddenly come to understand that, man, I didn't have nothing. I didn't have nothing. But see, when we do these things, and then we see and we run off to people, it's not even that we run off. See, it schemes on a whole lot of different levels, okay? Let's take, when our young men go off and go to college, they have a genuine desire to get educated. If they play sports, they want to be the best. They want to do something, make their mama proud. They want to buy their mama a house because she never had none. They want to move her from where she was because they felt like she never had nothing. You understand? This is their intent. This is their intent, okay? But the first time those heathens see that you have the potential to be successful, they get a lock on you out front. You're going to debt before you ever sign a contract, because now they're going to make sure that the mama get what she wants. And since the mama ain't never had nothing, she going to be right there waiting. This is how we do. This is how we do. This is how we do. And here's the thing. When they see you're going to be successful, they put all of their people around you to where you can't even see your community no more. And they guard you. They stand guard on you. like an assassin guarding the president. That's how they are on successful Hebrew men. They put their assassins around them to guard them, lest they should break through and get a glimpse of their brothers and sisters on the other side in the condition that they're in, lest they break through and see that they have the power and the ability to affect change in the very communities that they desire to move their mother out of, lest they look back and have remembrance what the mother and the father went through while they were raising them, what it was like to be poor, what it was like not to have food, what it was like not to have money, not to be able to do anything. You see, they put assassins around our brothers to guard them, lest they see and remember those things. They have to be constantly distracted and bombarded with things that don't give them a second to look back. We got to be wiser than we've been. We got to be wiser than we've been, you know. But the brother opened up a school. I try to be optimistic and say, well, you know what? Maybe some kid in the neighborhood will get a better opportunity. Maybe some kid will be exposed to a better level of education. Maybe it might do something to the spirit of the kid just to know that they were connected that close to one that had reached such great status. So we can't just come in here and say that it ain't right, that it ain't good. But we have to be balanced and we have to look at both sides. Because that is a flip side of some possibilities, because the Most High is going to use every situation, especially as it relates to raising up the next generation of children. But we also have to be realistic. Should one of our brothers happen to come across a video such as this, you need to understand that our children need to learn what their history is. And they cannot find their history in not a single book here. Our history does not begin in 1619 in Jamestown, Virginia as slaves. Our history began long before that. But that is the only thing that the curriculum in the public educational system, the middle school, the high school, and the colleges, that is what our children are learning. That they don't have no history. They just are people that just poofed up out of thin air and were slaves, and then ended up all over the world. If one of our brothers opened up a school, God forbid, because if he don't understand these things, and if he is not willing to teach these things that they didn't teach us, then the school is of no benefit to us. Jeremiah 23rd chapter, he said, if they was of my people, they would have stood in my counsel, and they would have given my people my word, and my word would have turned them from the evil of their way and the evil of their doing. What was his word that would turn them away? His word is their history. Who are you? Where are you? That's his word. If your educational system can't teach the history of the people that it was built for, what's the whole purpose of it? The white man knows his history. The China man knows his history. The Asian man knows his history. The African man knows his history. The Russian, the Italian, the French man, the German man, the Spaniard. All of them know their history. What about the Negro's history? Who's going to teach him what his history is? And if one of our brothers open up a school, we should as a people demand that. Otherwise, the school ain't for us. Now, maybe it could be a school that's geared more towards sports. And by that standard, it really don't matter what the curriculum is. Because if you just want to raise the next generation of people that can go and entertain the heathen, so be it. But we should be looking for greater than that. You see, we should be looking greater for that. Greater than that. Now, a lot of people need to know who they are. Who they are. Challenge anybody. Go get your Christian brothers and ask them. Ask them. I just looked at a video a minute ago I shared where you got some Neanderthal heathens and a Hispanic brother on there trying to debunk who the Israelites is. And the Hispanic brother is jealous because of the other Hispanic brothers that have come up under the commandment of the Most High, and he's jealous. He's trying to make it as though his brothers, the Hispanic brothers, are some type of flunkies. But there ain't no such thing. Anybody up under the umbrella of the Most High's commandment are brothers. They are not no flunkies. So he's on here asking a heathen something. What can a heathen tell you about an Israelite? So I go on there and told him, man, you get out of here with that Neanderthal. And I said, if you really want to know something, don't you think you ought to be asking the people that you're talking about? They don't want to hear that, though. They don't want to hear that. The Neanderthal, Anglo-Saxon, Ashkenazi, Jew. How you going to be a Gentile and a Jew at the same time? You tell me. So, it's all in the education. That's why we said that the cemetery schools and the theology schools, they're all satanic. They all were established. Your whole college institutions, every educational department in this world was established by them that the Bible calls the synagogue of Satan. And so that's what you learn when you're going through college. You learn how to go against the Most High, how to walk in ungodly counsel. So it's no wonder why when our brothers reach this high status, they feel the way that they feel. Because they ain't been educated, they've been indoctrinated. But every now and then, some of our brothers have a good motive and a good mind to come out of there. Only thing that I'm saying to my brothers is when you got a good motive and a good mind to come out and do something, you put some people around you that understand what the scriptures say. And I'm not talking about none of these would-be crooked preachers. You go get somebody that know what their history is according to the scripture, that know who they are according to the scripture. And you put them people around you, and you let them people show you who you are. Because I guarantee you ain't no heathen on the planet. I don't care how many basketball shots you, I bet you ain't not near one of them white boys ever challenged you and asked you the question, hey man, do you know who you are? Do you know you ain't no African American? I bet you ain't not one heathen that ever been around a black man asked him that question. Because if one of them heathens ever asked you that question, it would prompt your heart to go somewhere. You see? But they ain't going to do that. They're not going to do that. We have to do each other like that. And we get mad. We even want our Christian brothers. Okay, you tell me. Tell me. Since you want to be a Christian. Well, the Christianity for you started in the 1700s. In the mid-1700s. That's when Christianity started for you. But Christianity for them been existed long before you ever got on a boat. So we tell them your educational departments. Are you going to be teaching in the curriculum about the Quakers and the Puritans that came to America? Okay, well, that was biblical too, because the Quakers and the Puritans were your first Christians. And they were coming across the ocean based on what Israel had done, trying to find a land so that they can worship apart from Great Britain. Only problem is when they got to the land, it was already occupied. But nevertheless, these are your Christians. First, they start killing each other. Then, before you know it, they done killed all the Indians and taken the land. And now they go and steal the people. But they still, all the whole time, they still Christians because that's what Christians did. You want to apply that to yourself, so be it. But what I want to ask you as a Christian, because that's what you identify yourself as, where does your history start at? How far can you go back? Can you go back past Jamestown, Virginia in 1619? Can you go back past that? Because if you can't go back past that, you're in the worst kind of ignorance. Tell your grandchildren, when they ask, where did we come from? What you going to tell them? Oh, we just poofed out of thin air with slaves. Don't mind me, I'm just talking. I'm just airing it out. I'm thanking the Most High for the day, and I'm thinking. I'm thinking over and over again. What can we do? What can we say to make our brothers understand what it is? What can we do? What can we say to make our brothers understand what it is? And we got all of these things happening. You got all these people. You got white people that's running around here think this is cool. It's cool. Oh, I can just pop him. Bow. I can talk crazy to him. And if he look like he want to put his hands on me, I'll just shoot him. And I'll say, stand my ground. You got all this stuff staring you in the face. You got white people out here running around here that call you a nigga to your face. You understand what I'm saying? That's okay, because when you do, you're going to get knocked out, just like y'all doing. You're going to get knocked out. But what I'm saying is, when we look at the way that the times is moving, we should be past all of this nonsense. We should be finding out ways. Our brothers that's making money, they see these things happening every day. They're not exempt to them, but you just think that you ain't got nothing to do with it because of your status. You don't want to get involved. You don't want to get involved. Well, God gonna hold you accountable for that, son. Then you'll turn around and go give the same police that just shot one of your brothers, you'll turn around and go give him your autograph and be glad about it. Y'all think y'all educated? Indoctrinated. Look at our sisters, how they acting. Love of hip-hop. Housewives. That's what they give you the money for. You're better off in the slums of the ghetto with some character than to come on national TV and embarrass the one that gave birth to you. That's why. You know why you like that? Because you're being up under the heathen. You're doing what he did because you want what he wants. And so you'll compromise yourself and your character and everything else just to get what they got. All the while, the whole world is laughing at you. Titties just hanging all out of your shirt. And they fake at that. Couldn't wear your real hair if you want to. I wondered to myself, I said, you know what? If I was on Housewives of Atlanta or I was on one of them love and hip hop shows, I could silence that mess real quick. Because I tell them, how the hell you going to be arrogant and you got weave in your hair? How you going to be arrogant when that all by itself is a deficiency? If I took the weave out and let everybody see them bald spots up under there, you wouldn't be arrogant then. You'll be walking around with your head down. Same thing go for our brothers. Sitting up there acting like you know, it just don't make no sense. We're the greatest people on the planet. Nobody could survive without us. Nobody could survive without us. Nobody could survive without us. That's why from Egypt to Babylon, to Persia, to Assyria, to Greek, all the way to Roman. That's why they always had the Israelites as slaves. Because the whole world have depended upon our greatness in order to survive. And we seem to be the only people that don't realize that. We seem to be the only people. How could you be dependent upon a people that ain't never done anything for you, ain't never cared for you? How could you be dependent upon a people? And you don't even understand that the people been dependent on you from the very beginning. And every time the Father took us out of their slavery, their kingdoms fell. And if the Father took us out of this slavery, the kingdom would fall. But everybody knows that except you. That's why they all come in cahoots together. The Arab man comes in cahoots with the European man, comes in cahoots with the Asian man, comes in cahoots with the Chinese man, comes in with the African man, comes in cahoots with the East Indian man, and then they all get together to assemble in your neighborhood so that they can box you in, because they all know that they would perish without you. You don't know. You're the only one that don't know your greatness. And you know, come from up under them brothers that's classifying themselves as antichrist. Because when you say that I am a Christian, that's what you're saying. I'm antichrist because I do everything that Christ said not to do. He said, thou shalt not kill. And I killed the 100 million Indians. Thou shalt not steal. I stole the people and I stole the land. Thou shalt not bear false witness. I called the Indians a savage. I called the greatest people on the planet a thug and a murderer and a Negro, a nigger. Thou shalt not covet thy brother's house. And I went and raped his mama, his grandma. I even raped the daddy. Thou shalt remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. And I went and I set my own day up. You talking about you're a Christian, you're an antichrist. That's what you are. And anybody following you, you line up with the scripture that said in the last days, false prophets going to rise and going to deceive many. We need to know who we are. We need to know who we are. We need to know who we are. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Don't mind me, I'm just trying out the new iPad. But I hope y'all feel what I'm saying. I hope y'all feel what I'm saying, man, because it's rough out here, man. It's rough out here. So the education is important. We need to start challenging our brothers and sisters. You need to run up there. If you somebody that's still going to church, you need to run up there. Go and ask your pastor. Just be sarcastic. Hey, you know, where did the Negro come from? Where did the Negro come from, and when did he, you know, where did he come from? Where was he at before he came here? Where was he at before he came here as a slave? Go and ask him. I mean, one day we was on the church van coming back from Melcor's event. Well, we went from Kansas City to Topeka, fellowship with some of the brothers. I'm just now coming into truth. But keep this in mind, I'm a preacher in the pulpit. So I'm just now coming into truth. But I'm zealous about chasing this information, and I retain everything that's up here. So I'm back there trying to explain some of the brothers, man, we the real Israelites, man. We ain't nobody told it. And we got the pastor up there listening. You see, he's listening, he's getting hot around the collar. Because I'm back here teaching the brothers something that he ain't teaching. So some kind of way, slavery came up, broke out in the front part of the van. And then he said, you know, they say that, you know, they threw so many of the slaves overboard that the sharks followed the boats. So I said, well, where was the boats coming from? And he got mad. I mean, he got mad. I just asked a question. He got mad because he got confounded before the men that was looking up to you. Before the men that thought you was qualified to teach. That's why he got confounded. Where was the boats coming from? He didn't like the fact that I was telling my brothers that they was Israelites and this and that and the other. But when I asked him, where was the boats coming from? I said, oh, I put a nail in this right here. Where was the boats coming from? He got mad. And when we got back, he tried to bulldog me. Boy, don't you never chastise me like that in front of the brothers, I said, hey, look, I just asked you a question. And I was dead serious. I want to know, where was the boats coming from? You got the information to know that they threw overboard. Where was the boats coming from? Where was they coming from? Yeah. But see, that was eventually the thing that got me ostracized and threw out of church. Because I wasn't backing up. I felt like I done found out who I am. I know who I am. I know where I came from, and everything lined up with the scripture that I believe. Ain't nobody can tell me nothing different. I wouldn't care how many heathens came on and tried to heap up something. I don't trust you. You're the father of lies. And the lust of your father you'll do. He was a murderer and a liar from the beginning. And when he speak of the lie, he abode not in truth. Because when he speaks of a lie, he speaks of his own. Ain't no heathen, ain't no European on the planet had to know how to tell the truth. He can't tell the truth. He can't tell the truth. He can't tell the truth. His whole mouth will fall off if he told the truth. He can't. Not because he don't want to, but because he's incapable. And the only way he's going to tell the truth, that the Most High going to have to put a spirit on him to make him tell the truth while he's being afflicted. Jeremiah 16:19, during the time of affliction, O Lord, my fortress, my strength, during the time of affliction, the Gentile shall come from the ends of the earth and shall declare, surely we have inherited lies of vanity and of no profit from our forefathers. That's what it says going to happen. But the Father had to put a spirit on him to do it. He ain't going to do it. So, man. So ask your Christian brothers. Because the faster we can get our brothers out from up under the falsehood of that religious institution. And let me tell you something. You brothers don't think that when I'm talking about that religious institution, I'm talking about your faith in the Messiah or the sacrificial work. I'm not talking about that. You see, because the Messiah didn't have anything to do with no man-made organization or religion. So you got to find a way to detach him from that organization. That's where most of your struggling come from. You don't know how to separate the Most High and his son's work from the institutionalized Christianity. You don't know how to separate him from it. But now he's saying, if like Paul said in Corinthians, will you take me now and join me to a harlot? Because that's what you have did. You have took our beloved brother, the Messiah, HaMashiach, and you have joined him to a harlot. And you got to find a way to detach. You got to find a way to separate the Messiah and the Most High from the religious organization of Christianity. Pray that you're able to do it. Shalom.